Is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
In three, two, one, play.
Hey, New Line Cinema Picture.
That is a. I forgot that the logo looked like that.
You
Yeah.
could.
All right. So this is.
The
I
scariest episode of Magic School Bus you've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is horrifying. This is actually only my second time watching this because I didn't really like this when I first watched it. Um,
That font was a
uh,
choice.
Oh, I like it.
a couple Octobers ago, I went through all of the Nightmare movies just because I think this is technically my favorite of the big slasher franchise, like the big three of
Boo!
Halloween,
Boo!
Nightmare, and Friday.
Boo!
This is a better franchise than Friday the
Boo!
13th. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Uh,
just wrong.
Hey, look, it's Robert England.
Yeah.
oh
As
my
the host finally.
god.
I watched these a lot on VHS because my dad had the VHS box set that like made a picture of Freddy when he had all the VHS tapes together. But
Yeah, I've seen that.
I skipped this one a lot.
Well,
I imagine this is a lot of people skip, although I think it has a decent cult following.
It definitely has more of a following. Music by Christopher Young. I've heard that name. I want to say that's the Hellraiser guy.
ooh, good call. It might be.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I think this has had the most reappraisal of any of them in recent years. The
Well,
Yeah.
following. It's still divisive.
I feel like at least amongst the slasher fans, this is the black sheep. Like four, we complain about 4 and 5, and I'm interested to revisit those. But I feel like those are generally well liked by the masses.
At least like people who are fans of this franchise.
Yeah.
People like really like four in particular.
Yeah.
But this opening scene I think is great. Classic Nightmare on Elm Street stuff.
Yeah, this is a cool scene. And
Yeah.
I won't, even though I don't love this movie, I will say it's more interesting than 4 and 5. Mostly
I
just
think
because
so.
I can't differentiate 4 and 5.
But see, I think the thing though is what I would put 4 and 5 above this is they're more visually interesting. They have more going on with like the
It
dreams.
They have more distinct kills.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
they have cool moments.
it depends on what you're watching these for. 4 and 5 are popular for having some really good kill sequence and more
And
special
Robert England
effects.
just he's having so
Doing the
much
scenery.
fun.
Yeah.
The,
But what I like about his performance in this one is this is the last time we get really scary Freddy. He's not used a lot, but when he's on screen, I think it's really effective. And what I like about this movie is the narrative, the protagonist. I'm more
that it
invested
completely
in
misses
this
the
one
point of
than
the
some of
first one.
debatably.
No,
It's
it
doing something
does.
different, which I like. I don't know. I
Guys,
think this opening is great.
guys, we can't get into that yet.
No, this is a fun opening, and I think promises a much crazier movie than what we get.
Yeah, I like all the model work here. This is a good nightmare sequence. And the I'm clearly the biggest fan of this movie here. I don't think it's great. I don't love this movie, but I really like Mark Patton as Jesse here. He's one of my favorite protagonists in this series. I think he's the glue that holds the whole thing together. I like him a lot
Teddy says, "Oh,
in
the
this
second
opening.
one is even more brilliant. More brilliant than what?"
The first one? I don't
Said
think
no one
anyone says
ever.
that.
The
Even
only
if I
one that
like
I
this
hear is
movie.
that people like more than one is 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, and I guess
second
this
one,
is
what? We're doing the second one.
for the anniversary.
I guess this is the last time you see fully scary Freddy. I think 3 strikes a good balance though between
Yeah.
scary and funny.
But I'd argue
and
that that's just going back to the first one because he's funny in that movie.
not
in
as
a, in a
funny as he
different
is in
way.
Dream
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Well,
But then you don't really get back to Scary Freddy until New Nightmare.
Yeah. Well, what I like for Noah, you were talking earlier about how you prefer these over like the Friday 13th movies, and I'm personally more of a Jason guy. I like those for what they are. They're just dumb, tearing your brain off, fun. Nightmare is more of a mixed bag for me in that there's obviously a lot of potential here, and when they're great, they're great. But then I find the lesser ones more frustrating. With the Friday 13th movie, I'm just going in with different expectations. It is a big part of it.
A lot of it too for me is a taste thing, where it's like I find like
Noah
I
doesn't
get
like
the
fun.
Well, no, I get the appeal of Jason and like all of that, but I think Freddy is a creepier idea, and I just really like the concept there, and I think the good movies in the franchise are really good, and this movie has this franchise has 3 solid, great movies.
Yes. Yeah, it's like there are only 3 movies I really love. It's in this franchise. It's 1, 3, and New Nightmare. All the others, including this one, range for me from like pretty good to kind of terrible.
See,
but I'd say, and I need to rewatch Freddy's Dead because I don't remember too much about it. But I'd say for me, the worst movies in the series are more mid than annoying.
Yeah, like I rarely I resist this movie's very concept as a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. But even this movie, like, it's more mid than anything. Like I am also more of a Jason guy, but I like Freddy. Even his more mediocre movies, I could still put on and have a good time.
I forgot about the Fu Manchu's breakfast cereal. Horribly racist and dated.
Matthew Bass says this one has better acting and is more thematically interesting than the first one. I don't agree that it's more thematically interesting.
Wow.
Acting, that's 50-50, like...
Yeah.
I mean...
I love Nancy. I don't think Heather
is
a great actress in that movie. I still love
but I don't think that this cast is that much better than the first movie.
The mom in the first one's pretty terrible. I think the cast of this is pretty solid all around. Like Meryl Streep.
The mom in the first one though is so bad that she like turns around to being awesome.
Yeah.
She's fun to watch.
Her scene is amazing.
I like parts of Freddy's Dead. I think that is a great first half, and then the second half just runs out of energy.
Well, every Nightmare movie, even the bad ones, I think has a good scene or two.
Yeah.
I'll give this franchise that. There's always at least one standout moment.
But I agree with Teddy. Jason is the best one in terms of consistently doing its thing well.
Yes.
Yes, you know what you're there for, and it always delivers.
Almost always.
This is insane. Why are we playing baseball and doing archery at the same time? This seems dangerous.
Yeah, what is going on here?
You don't know the 80s.
It's true.
You're right.
Teddy, I need to rewatch Freddy's Dead. No, you don't.
But to what he was saying though, because there's a lot to unpack for somebody finding this more thematically interesting. I totally understand that if you're looking at the gay subtext stuff going on, which Noah is like, I don't know if you're really aware of this, but that's a big thing that's kind of bolstered this in popularity, is specifically in the LGBT community.
I can imagine, yeah. That makes a lot of sense with the reappraisal, because
I think,
admittedly, and we should talk about this, I don't know too much about like the history of this, but from what I remember hearing, a lot of people on set didn't pick up on that, and
Yeah.
and I know
The
that
director
lead
to this
actor-
day swears up and down that he had no idea
Yeah.
what they were making.
Yeah.
And then I don't
So-
know.
But do you guys
But
know
like,
that,
this is one of the first scenes in the
This is-
movie.
It's pretty homoerotic.
Yeah. But do you guys has like the writer of this movie spoken about like any intention with that or?
I think so.
Not that I know of.
At least in recent years. And then again, it's debatable.
But also, the last time I've watched anything on this was that Never Sleep Again documentary, and that was 2010.
Mhm.
I'd be interested to see if there's any other new special features on this set.
But like a big factor of that, of course, is that Mark Patton here as Jesse is gay in real life, but was not out at the time.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
And
And-
his
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
well, and his performance in this was really controversial, and one reason why a lot of people didn't like this movie or found it weird was you have a young male protagonist who screams a lot, who's not a traditional like macho hero in this type of horror movie. And to me, that makes it more interesting and even more realistic. He's kind of unusual as a final boy, and again, even in this genre, most of these movies have female protagonists, like the traditional final girl. So having a boy in that role is different. And I think his performance really stands out, and I like this character a lot.
Teddy says, honest opinion is that I like Nightmare 2. It's like the lowest tier of the ones I unironically like, if that makes sense. So he likes it, but it's like at the bottom of the ones that he likes.
And that's the camp I'm in. Like, I have the 1, 3, and New Nightmare are the ones I really love. This one's somewhere in the middle for me. Like, I like this movie. It's got problems, but
I am
there's a
open
lot
to
of
being
like-
won over. Like, I'm voicing criticism that I stand by, but it's been a while since I've watched this. I'm open to being won over, you know.
And we talked over it, but I really like his friend Grady here. You think this is going to be more of a bully rivalry situation, but when they're doing push-ups together, he's like, "Do you have a problem with me, Grady?" And he responds, "No, bro. I'm just trying to kill time." Like, he's actually a really likable guy, even though they bicker a lot through this movie. But like, it's very
Remember the
believable.
Nightmare on Elm Street house?
Yep. And then at some point in this franchise, that it becomes Freddy's house for some reason.
I think you're stuck. I think that happens in 3.
Yeah.
That was guaranteed to happen the moment you brought it back in the sequel. At some point, that was going to happen.
What's the line that he has in Freddy versus Jason? That
I've always had a
loves
thing
killing-
for the whores and that live in this house.
Yeah, I watched the review on that recently.
Yeah,
to
same.
talk about that.
And part of what this movie really leans into more than some of the other sequels do, and then the remake takes way too far, is the idea of Freddy as a sexual predator. That's something you could really unpack with this one, and it's there in the first one. Like, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy." Like that's there,
Yeah.
but it's subtle, and then the
Well,
remake
even
takes it way too far.
Freddy versus Jason, I think, is a little too on the nose with that at points. With that little girl's like, and he loves little girls.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, tone's kind of at odds with itself.
Well, and
It's
it's
like-
interesting
I
because
suppose these
I've been
things
browsing
happen.
Reddit lately when I'm just like playing a game and kind of cycling through, and I see a lot of people confused why people hate that in the remake. It's because it's so overt and they don't do anything with it. If you want to do something with it, you have to make it mean something, like have a commentary
Yeah.
or.
For me, it's not just because it's overt. It's because they try to make you think that he was innocent, and then
Then they "Just
double
kidding."
down on him. Yeah.
Well, and I wouldn't want it to be overt with this Freddy, because I don't know what this says about me, but after a certain point, I'm rooting for Freddy. I don't want to root for an overt pedophile. That's just it's weird.
Yeah. So if they ever settle the rights issues and they bring Freddy back, don't make that stuff overt.
But real quick, back to the house point. I think this movie really doubles down on that, because Freddy in the original is just killing the people that were responsible for him dying. The moment he starts attacking other people that live in this house, you've established this as the Freddy house.
Yeah. Well, they obviously don't get into it. You could interpret it as like, well, Nancy's the one who defeated her, so that's why there's a stronger connection here. But the sequels aren't consistent with that. But like this,
Did
this
she
scene,
really defeat him?
right?
Well,
It's,
three really retcons this one out of existence.
Yeah.
but and again, this is a big scene where that's what I think is interesting about this protagonist. It's not just
This is a cool
you know,
scene.
but
Yeah,
the
that's
way you've got the body and I've got the brain, so good. But if people interpret this as like, oh, this is a teenager, scared to come out of the closet. It's kind of a metaphor for that.
Until you get to the end.
It kind of it's complicated. But it's that, and also you also have like this sexual predator who's coming after you, who's exploiting you, who's taking advantage of you. There's a lot of different reads you can have with their dynamic. And like I said, I like creepy Freddy in this. I think Robert Englund, of course, is great as always.
He's actually pretty disturbing so far.
The one scene that he's been in.
Yeah.
I've seen glimpses of him.
He was in two
No,
scenes.
that is probably my favorite scene in the movie. But it also leads to my problem with this movie is the central plot to this movie is dumb.
Why is it dumb?
Why does he need to go into the real world?
They don't explain it, and B, the implication is when he comes to the real world, he also has powers. So why not?
How does that work?
I don't know.
That's not how it worked in the last movie.
I was gonna say, didn't he not have powers when he was in the real world?
That's the okay. However, that is the idea, but then you get to the end, and was he ever in the real world? I don't think so. I think that whole climax was a dream, or I don't know what's happening at the end of that movie. That's the problem.
But we could the end, like I alluded to earlier, the ending of that movie just sucks.
Yeah. Well, and that I think is a through line for this whole franchise. Most of them stumble at the end. Even I love New Nightmare. I think it's great. That's got third act issues.
Yeah.
I think that happens a lot in this.
See, for me, I can divorce that daytime epilogue. For me, the real ending of that movie is when she turns her back on him and says, I no longer fear you, and he dies.
Okay. All right. Which does come into play into this one.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of bringing Freddy into the real world is antithetical to this character.
Not if he still has superpowers, which he does. He wants the best of both worlds. He wants to be in the real world so he can kill whoever he wants and be able to teleport and shit. Does it make sense? I don't know. I don't know how Ask the dream people from Freddy's Dead.
Teddy says the innocent thing was the only interesting idea of that remake, and they went, nah, just kidding. It's not the only one. Right. The micro nap idea is also really interesting. But that's another idea where they go, eh?
Yeah, you get like one good scene out of it.
I will say, like, on the concept of Freddy coming into the real world is uninteresting to me personally, just because he's the dream guy. I like how he operates within the dream world.
Because the moment you take him out of the dreams, real quick, sorry, he's just another slasher. You take what's unique about him away.
He could still teleport and shit. But why I find it interesting, and the big detail John's leaving out, is this is really a possession movie. It's not just Freddy wants to come in the real world. It's he's using Jesse, who sleepwalks, to possess him. So the big detail John is leaving out is it does keep the dream idea, but here it applies it to sleepwalking, and that's how he's possessing Jesse.
But then at the end, he just comes into the real world. So that doesn't matter.
Through Jesse.
But it's still doing exactly what I'm complaining about. Like, I don't care how he got there.
Okay, so I appreciate that.
We're talking over this important scene.
Yes, this very iconic.
No, they had no idea what they were making.
Yep. Look, he's just really excited to be cleaning his room.
Some people are just not aware.
Nope. It was the 80s. The Top Gun's about to come out. Like, people don't know.
There's nothing homoerotic in Top Gun.
But what I like about the premise of this movie that I wish more of the sequels delved into, again, I appreciate that it's doing something different. The idea of the first one, it's you have a character who can't go to sleep because if she goes to sleep, a scary guy's gonna kill her and then she'll die for real. So what makes the first one scary is you can't go to sleep. The idea of this movie is you can't go to sleep because you're gonna sleepwalk and Freddy's gonna possess you and make you kill your loved ones. I think that idea is even scarier. So it's taking the dream concept and not wanting to fall asleep, but doing a different spin on it.
But why does he need this kit?
I don't know.
But then that's a flaw in the conceit.
But because he can manipulate him. Yeah, because he's in this house. I don't know.
But why can't he just go into their dreams?
Well, he goes into his dreams, like he went into Nancy's dreams.
But if he needs Jesse to possess to kill his family, why can't he just go into his family's dreams?
Because Jesse's the one he can manipulate.
Why?
It's a metaphor, John.
Okay, but metaphor at the expense of logic is still dumb.
I don't think the first one is as logical as you're giving it credit for, but I appreciate both for what they're going for. Noah, do you see where I'm coming from? Like,
I do. But you know, the trouble with this is this is only my second viewing.
Yeah.
And here we get our first thing that 3 is going to retcon.
How so?
Because if I remember correctly, they're going to mention that Nancy's died in this house.
No, they just said she went crazy, and they just leave it at that. I don't think they say she died.
You could be right. I legitimately don't remember. I thought they said that she died.
What they do say is they think that Nancy's mom killed herself in this house. And is that what's going on at the end of the first one? I don't know. It works for me.
Okay, Teddy May just sold me on this movie being Freddy's midlife crisis.
No, Freddy's dead is his midlife crisis.
No, that's his end of life crisis.
Right.
Until he comes back.
You know, that movie was faithful. In that continuity, that is the last time you see Freddy.
What about Freddy vs. Jason?
That's its own weird continuity.
Yeah.
I don't think that movie lines up with either franchise.
Like
so, John, why does Freddy wanting to use Jason to kill people work for you and not this premise?
He doesn't want to come into the real world. He just needs Jason to remind them to be scared so he can get into their dreams. It is still the basis of that character.
We also, I don't know, man, like, this movie just doesn't really get into his motivations. Like, you keep saying that, but that's never spoken outright.
Which is a problem because the first movie established his motivation.
Well, sure. Because he wanted revenge, but that's a problem for a lot of these sequels. It's like, now what? We keep adding Elm Street kids that didn't exist before.
No, you can track his motivation through 3, 4, and 5.
No, he's in a Salvador Dali painting.
I was gonna say that, yeah. It's Looney Tunes back in action.
Like I said, I like the idea with this one of, again, just preying on this disturbed, impressionable young person and using him to kill people.
I agree, Matthew. 3 is the best.
3 is great.
Yeah, I mean, that's consistent with his motivation in the first one.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is an idea I wish some of the other sequels explored more, where what makes the first one scary is you can't go to sleep or else Freddy's going to kill you. This one is you can't go to sleep because you might sleepwalk and kill somebody. That idea I find scarier.
Because that's redundant with the nightmare conceit. He doesn't need somebody else to kill people for him. He can just go in their dreams and kill them.
I appreciate that this is doing something different. And I don't know, maybe he lost some of his powers after Nancy defeated him. Like, these movies aren't as consistent as you think they are.
I
So
think
I
you were
just gotta go with that.
undervaluating how consistent some of these can be.
I guess
What,
is
like,
the idea that he feels like he can kill more people if he's free in the real world.
I think so.
Because,
I mean, I
Again, they don't get
guess,
into the
but
minutia of it. Yeah,
but
because
like he's way more powerful in the dream world.
that's what I'm
yeah, but he
saying.
also
Like,
he has to
this is
kill
a
people one at a
downgrade.
time. Is it?
He
Because in the
does have
dream
to
world,
kill
he has
people
to
one at a
at a
time,
time.
but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, I don't really care. I'm just not hung up on this premise as much as you are because I think it's cool that it's something different.
I do feel that if Freddy had the opportunity to go back to the real world and he still had all the power that he had in the dream
Yeah.
world, he would take it. So in that respect, it is consistent with the original character.
Yeah, and that's what
Um,
happens in this movie.
oh my God, it's Doug
Correct.
Love.
But admittedly, part of that is because I've watched the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary, and it's clear they didn't know what to do with a sequel, so they just threw something together. So I'm not giving this movie as
Well, they
much
rushed things
credit
out.
as Robert is, because this is just, well, what do we do? Send him in the real world. I don't know.
What was
But it's
this, a
so
year
much more
later?
complicated. Yeah. But I think it's more complicated than that. I like the sleepwalking conceit.
Said he's doubling down on he was doing something different because he was bored. I think I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah.
No, I love the reading that this is just his midlife crisis. That makes this movie, that improves this movie, like, at least by half a star.
Yeah, like so I like the tone of this movie. I like the cast. This just has a vibe to it that I respond to that we kind of get away from in the
It
later
does feel
movies.
more consistent with the first one,
Yes.
tonally, and I really like. I go back and forth between 1 and 3. I like both
Three's just
movies.
able to go a little further with the stuff that's cool about Freddy for me.
Well, for me, because 3 is probably the better movie, but I like the vibe of 1 more, and I
I like
just
a
like
lot
that.
about one. One has one of the best
Yeah,
Freddy moments where it's like, this is God. It's great.
I'd say 1 is almost a perfect movie. Then you just have like the
If you
end
just fix
and
the ending.
Yeah.
some other stuff.
One is held
more.
back by the ending, and because it's the first one, it's low budget. They're not allowed to fully utilize the dream conceit to
Right.
do a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then this has like a vibe that they never really return to until New Nightmare.
and 3 is a lot of fun, but it's also, and I'm not saying this as a criticism, it's a lot cheesier and more over the top. Like, it's definitely less creepy.
Yeah,
It goes goofier, which I think is fine. Again,
That's
That
good for
that
that movie.
puppet kill is pretty creepy.
yeah, that's the most disturbing part of that movie. I also like this idea where it's also kind of a haunted house movie, but because of Freddy's gimmick, it's like it's the temperature's way too high. Like, everybody's sweating to death in here. Again, not something we ever do again in this series, but I think it's a fun concept.
No,
The
they were very
scene
careful
gets
never to
ridiculous.
do anything from this movie again. For better or worse.
Mhm.
I'm
3
not
is
saying
a
which one it is,
definite.
but
3 is a definite like hard step away from this.
Mhm.
Oh
yeah, because I think
no!
even at the time,
Yeah, this scene is insane.
yeah, I think even at the time, this was not. People were not happy with this.
I don't know. I mean, it was still a financial hit,
Yeah,
but the fans definitely responded a lot stronger to the third one. Yeah, this is one of the goofy scenes I don't know how to feel about. Like, this is ridiculous. I appreciate the parent POV shots though. Like, there was
Love
work
it.
put into this.
I don't know why we're getting into the parents' POV, but I love it.
It's insane. Jesse, get out of here.
Jesse, oh my God, it exploded.
It's so ridiculous.
and what is happening?
When parrots burn to death, they explode
Oh.
when the house is too hot. That's what this movie taught me.
You can't have parrots in extreme heat.
Yeah.
All right, I think this movie's probably better than I remember. Now that I'm thinking about it.
You just need an exploding parrot. But again,
Yeah.
this follow-up scene though, I think the parents are good. I think they're believable. I like the tension with them and Jesse. Again, I could see why this resonated with a lot of young people. This is another one of those like suburban middle class family movies with a parent who just doesn't understand their kid.
I will say this is one of the better Freddy designs from what little we've seen of him. Because
Yes,
it gets real
his
bad
makeup
in
in
some
this
of the other
movie.
sequels.
I like how they
Yeah.
light him in this movie.
Yeah.
Just keeping him in shadow.
But what I like about that scene is the dad isn't like, you know, an over the top like cartoon villain. He's pretty realistic. But when he suggests like, "Oh, Jesse, like you did this, right?" and Jesse's so offended and disturbed by that his father even like suggests that he killed the fucking parrot. It's
Yeah.
those interactions that I think are really great. And I like the moody lighting and scenes like this.
We're in a noir picture now.
Rob Shea talks about this, if this is the scene I'm thinking of, in the documentary where he had to go buy his costume for his cameo in this movie with his like young daughter in tow.
Oh,
Oh.
that's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is a sequence I think really works where it captures that dreamlike feel where you're like, is he sleepwalking? Is this real? Like, what's going on here? It's just so odd and surreal, but in a way I think is really effective.
Yeah. I'm unfortunately getting flashbacks to Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, this club.
Oh no.
John knows what I'm talking about.
I gotta rewatch that movie. It's been too long.
Oh.
Teddy, okay, let's pretend all the gay stuff is an accident. Does this mean that inside all us there's a gay wolf trying to come out? I mean, I don't know about you, but Robert
Inside of
definitely
us
has
all,
one.
there is a gay Freddy.
So this is Robert Shea,
Robert Shea.
the bartender. So he had to go get that outfit with his daughter.
Oh, Jesus. That's not awkward.
Yeah, it was the 80s. Most people were dressed like this pretty normally.
I don't know if that's
People
true.
walk down the street looking like that.
Just drink it out of the bottle. What the fuck are you doing?
They give him a glass.
Oh god.
Oh no.
And again, it's stuff like this that goes beyond subtext, where it's like, no, his gym teacher, like, no, he's a sexual predator. This is fucked up. And again, I like scenes like this where it's at first you're like, is this a dream? Like, it's just so weird. But again, that's what I like about it.
Yeah, it's got that. I like the idea of kind of experimenting with like surreal aesthetics within like scenes that are supposed to be in reality.
Which is
Kinda
something I wish the
question.
series did more than just the big kill scene, because 3 kind of invents that, and then 4 really cements it as just, okay, you have just the big dream kill set piece onto the next one, and so on and so forth. I wish the
This
later ones
blurs the
would
line a bit
experiment
more.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this guy probably has it coming.
Yep.
We've got balls.
Welcome to dodgeball, bitch.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yet he needs somebody else to kill for him.
Yeah.
But he can do all this. That makes sense.
That's what's happening. He's invading the real world through Jesse.
No, right now he's not.
That's exactly.
How does this? Well, but how does this work?
I think the idea Jesse. Well, remember it's in the middle of the night. I think Jesse's falling asleep while standing up. During
Okay.
the shower because you got to see
But...
how the scene plays out.
Okay.
Also, this series is, and I will stand by this. This series is not consistent when Freddy is manipulating the real world and when stuff is purely happening in just the dream world. The fourth movie is not consistent with this at all. Or 4 and 5, I guess. Like in 5, there's the classic scene where he overstuffs the girl with food and it makes her, and she like blows up in the dream world. But then in real life, it looks like she's just choking, and that's how she dies, and it looks realistic. But in 4, when he drowns the kid in his waterbed, and then his mom walks into the room, and his body is in the waterbed, and it makes no logical sense.
Oh, but okay, then how is he doing this? He's in a completely different part of the building.
That's what I was about to ask, is if Jesse is like sleepwalking right now, how is Freddy able to manipulate?
Yeah, that has to be Freddy just in that office doing that because Jesse's in the other room.
But I think Jesse has to be.
Oh, but here's the shot.
And yeah. Again, I don't know how the rules work. And I think that's a really cool transition from Jesse to Freddy standing.
Is the idea supposed to be that Freddy just took over his body, so he did all that in Jesse's body, but this is
maybe
we're seeing it from Jesse's perspective? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's clear,
a cool shot.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know who should have made a Nightmare on Elm Street movie? David Lynch.
Of course.
It's perfect. It's right there. All of his stuff is dreamy.
That would have been cool.
Also, one thing that I had an epiphany with rewatching this movie is, there's a lot of Donnie Darko in this. You have a disturbed teenager with some family issues in the 80s who sleepwalks a lot and is having weird, creepy dreams.
Yeah.
Who would you rather be haunted by, Frank the Bunny or Freddy Krueger?
Probably Freddy.
Probably Frank, because he's not evil.
That is true. Freddy's cooler, though.
Yeah, Frank doesn't crack one-liners.
Frank's kind of a buzzkill.
Remember the bars on the window?
Yep. But again, this is the stuff that I think really works. It's pretty realistic for this type of movie. The teenager and his parents not like getting along, and the parents trying to figure out what's going on, but of course they can't possibly understand. He's got a dream ghost after him. And like I said, I like that the father's not a cartoon villain. He's just a very old-fashioned, set in his way type of guy. Where the mom is saying, "Oh, I think our son needs professional help. Like, you should probably take him to see a psychiatrist." Dad's like, "No, it's fine."
I mean that's the 80s.
Needs to get grounded. Yep. Yeah, like this feels like the type of stuff a movie like Donnie Darko was commenting on, which is why that was set in the 80s, because that guy drawing from his own experiences. And I really believe the anguish this guy is going through of, oh fuck, I totally killed that guy, and I can't tell anyone.
I will say I'm appreciating this more than I did on a first viewing. I don't think it's.
I don't think it's
it would
great.
still. I think it would still rank low for me.
Hey, what's up, Hayden? He says peaks. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, my thing is still, yes, it can be different. It can be a good movie. But this is not a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. This is fundamentally not a Freddy movie.
I don't disagree, because Freddy's still Freddy to me in this.
Except for his
does kill that character.
motivation,
But John, his motivation is to kill people.
I love this scene.
His motivation was to kill the kids of the people that were responsible for him burning alive.
And then in a later movie, he'll say, every town has an Elm Street, I just like killing.
Yeah, that's 6, which is insane and completely misses the point. I could criticize it for that movie too. Shocker, I know.
Yeah, but then I buy it though, because before he became Freddy, he was
already
murderer.
killing kids. Yeah.
So when that's all done, what's he gonna go back to doing? Killing kids.
Yeah. Just his thing.
Well, thank God he's doing that, not trying to possess one.
Well, he's trying to possess one.
Trying to possess one so he.
But why?
Kill one.
I still don't understand why.
He's a dick. He's a dick.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only thing I could think of is he can kill more kids than he could in the dream world. He can only do it one by one. But even then, like,
I'm just not hung up on
this premise is flimsy at best.
You could say the same thing. What about the fourth one when the dog pees fire and that's what resurrects Freddy? Like,
Lo and behold, I can criticize that too. But at the end of the day, that is still a Freddy movie. He's doing what Freddy does.
I think he does what Freddy does in this. He's scary. He's killing people. He's a dick.
Here's a bit of lore that I didn't know about Hayden. This is the first Nightmare movie he saw.
Oh my god.
And he said it was dumb and bad.
Oh. I love this scene. The toaster's
No, he said 6 is dumb and bad. I don't know actually how he feels about this one.
Oh yeah, 6 is dumb and bad. Right.
Draven says he thinks it's funny that the writer of this movie still denies that there's gay subtext. I guess there's our answer. Even the writer also denies it.
I've heard conflicting things. I'm with you. I know the director has said, yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've heard conflicting things from the writer, but I need to do more research.
Meanwhile, at the command center for Power Rangers.
Yay.
I think it's more just interesting to talk about the idea, or I guess the fact that no one or a lot of people didn't know the subtext.
Well, and no, I don't know if you know this, but at least the director is just a director for hire. I think they picked him at like the last minute.
I buy that.
This movie was thrown together insane. They weren't going to bring Robert Englund back. They weren't going to bring Wes Craven back. They had no idea what the script was going to be, which will be a problem for the rest of this franchise, by the way. A lot of these are like the original MCU, where they're writing the script as they're filming.
Yeah.
Well, and the one constant throughout these is Bob Shea. And he is partially responsible for the ending of that first movie. And he's the one throughout all of these who, I don't know, feels inconsistent with what he wants.
Hayden said this movie is barely a nightmare film and it doesn't fit. That being said, it's peak. I don't agree with it being peak, but I mean, that is true.
And I don't see it as like this far left.
Okay, but when you have 7
disconnected
films
thing
in
that
the
you do.
franchise that are connected, you have a set of rules, motivations, and
You can't blame this movie for what the later movies do. Come on. This is
I
the
can blame
second
this movie
one.
for not understanding the first movie.
But by the end of the first movie, I don't know what's happening or what.
Yeah, I
they're
don't.
doing.
I wouldn't
That's
say that this misunderstands the first movie.
it's doing something different, and I appreciate that. I like that it's not a carbon copy,
Okay,
lazy sequel.
so Noah, this would be like if you took a Halloween sequel and decided to completely change Michael's motivations and abilities. But it's okay because it's an interesting plot.
Well, at a certain point,
I mean, they do.
doesn't Michael just like start killing randomly?
I mean,
I
that's
mean,
in
his
the
whole
first.
thing is kind of killing randomly,
Right.
Yeah,
you know. And
But then that would be like if we change that to now he wants to possess a teenager. That'd be dumb, right?
or
but in Halloween 2, they change it that
Yeah,
he's trying to kill Laurie because that's his
And you don't
sister.
like that, right?
Not really, but you know,
There it is.
I think
different. Okay,
I think Halloween 2 is all right.
yeah, I don't hate that movie. I like this scene. It was a cool POV. I'm glad Noah brought that up earlier. That before Freddy was killed, like he was already killing kids. That's just his thing that he's always done.
Well, that because I never really thought about that. I guess that was always why I was okay with him just killing random kids in the sequels, because like that's what he did.
Hayden says
Yeah, well,
Bob Shea is the Aviarada for her. No, that's the Halloween
Mustafa
guy.
Akkad.
Yeah. And then Draven says it feels like this movie was written as a run-of-the-mill possession movie, and the last minute they threw Freddy into it. I agree with that.
I think there's enough of the dream conceit intact. I think this scene's really creepy, where he almost kills his sister. I always love the shots of Jesse with the glove on.
With the glove.
I like that the glove is the constant like tangible thing in the real world. But there's enough of the DNA of the first one, like him trying to stay awake and not fall asleep and going crazy like Nancy did. For me, it strikes a decent balance in doing its own thing, but still feeling familiar to the first one. I love this bit where his mom's like, "Oh, you're looking better," and he gives her that look of like, "Yeah, right." Like he is so pissed off and done with the situation. But this whole family dynamic, I think, really works. And
It's all pretty believable and grounded.
Yeah, no, I'm guessing on first viewing, Mark Patton here didn't really make an impression on you. But how are you feeling about his performance on this watch?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, it didn't make a huge impression on me when I first saw it, but you know, he's doing a good job.
I think he really sells just the social outcasts.
Yeah.
Without overdoing it. I think he deserved a better career in horror than he got.
That is kind
Again,
of the
this
downside to a lot of
problem.
these slashers. Is a lot of these actors don't go on to have careers.
Yeah. And I still need to watch the Scream Queen documentary about this guy. I've heard it's really good from a few years ago about his story and coming out and all that. And this film's legacy.
I will say with that too, because the point I was going to make earlier, but like we've talked a lot about whether or not the intention was there for the gay subtext in this movie. I'll also say like it doesn't really matter. Like if you want to read into that, you can. Like we shouldn't
I agree.
fully go off of authorial intent.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm like full. I don't know if I'm full death of the author and all that, but I think there's a lot of truth to it that it at least what a director or writer is intending is at least just as important as what the audience gets out of it. You know, I don't know if one thing's more important than the other, personally, but I'm with you, Noah, that whatever the writer or whoever is intending, like there's still
Yeah.
other valid readings you can have of the material. I just
I'd
think
say
that
it's
makes the
important to take
discussion
it
more
into
interesting.
account, but usually I go more with letting the audience
Mhm.
figure out their own meaning.
Mhm.
Draven says, I think I remember, and this is unverified, but remember that the writer or the director did not like the first movie, and that's kind of why this movie turned out the way it did. And I remember hearing something about that, but I can't remember, so that's why I'm saying it's unverified. But I mean, I can see it in this movie for sure.
I'd have to look into it.
Yeah.
But when you watch this with that through that lens of that you could read this as a character who is struggling with his sexuality and doesn't know how to come out or understand his feelings, I do think that makes the piece more interesting to watch. And
Yeah,
whether that was intended or not, you can absolutely see that in his performance.
and you can read it on a face value level too. Like I think it is so far like fairly effective as a possession movie.
Mhm. Well,
He's doing a
there's
good job of playing that like internal
yeah.
struggle.
Well, I always love a horror movie where you have a character like, am I going fucking nuts? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's going crazy.
There's always these damn partying, horny teens. They must be stopped.
See, this is why we need Freddy.
Freddy's actually the good guy when you really think about it.
Freddy Krueger did nothing wrong.
I don't want to
I do
play
like
Deadpool. I'm
how they
falling
waited
for
for the second the lights to go on. Get
it.
louder. Oh no.
I hate it when this happens.
That's pretty creepy.
Well, and the way
Jesus.
I like Jesse and Lisa. Like, I do think that is a genuine friendship. Like, those two really care about each other, and he is interested, or at least thinks he's interested in her. But there clearly there is a through line of like no, she really wants to be with him. Like, she's really into him,
I mean,
and with
I'd
his
argue it's
character.
more than just you think. Like the movie establishes at the end that they're together.
Mm, again, it's more complicated than that, depending on how you interpret it. Because like that scene, it's like okay, he seems into it, but then he gets confused and leaves, like because Freddy tongue was coming out of him literally. But like what happened in that scene? He was getting really far and then panics, leaves, and runs to his boyfriend. I mean, his friend Grady, his true love,
His
if you
his
interpret it that way.
platonic
Yeah.
best friend.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'm misremembering the ending, but the ending is pretty definitive.
I don't think it is. I think this scene's great. And you want to sleep with me? Like, it's not subtle.
I mean, it is if you're the director.
Oh. Yes.
That guy came up in another thing I was watching, the making of. Let me see if I can find it.
I do wonder how many people picked up on it at the time, though.
Right.
I do know that dance scene was big in like gay clubs, even in the 80s, like when that movie hit home video.
Okay.
Okay, that's. I mean, Top Gun's up there with the volleyball scene. Top Gun's one of the funniest. That's one of the funniest examples of like we think we're making like a macho, manly, very heterosexual movie, and then you look at the final cut, it's like
volleyball. That and parts of Rocky 3 with Apollo.
Yes, Rocky 3 is a big one, and 4 to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
Oh, he made Wishmaster 2, which I have not seen. Oh, he directed a movie called The Hidden with Kyle MacLachlan. I've never heard of this.
I need to see it.
Yeah. I'd be curious to watch that.
I'll watch it if it's got Coop.
Revival House just popped in. What's up, guys? First time here. Just popped in to say hey. Have a good stream. Always looking for new horror fans to sub to. Hey, thank you. Welcome in.
Thank you.
We're watching some Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It always weirds me out in the first movie when they call him Fred Krueger.
I know.
Fred Krueger.
Freddy. Good friend.
Freddy Krueger is a very different movie.
But John, not to get ahead of it, one reason why I disagree with you that the whole thing falls apart at the end, just when you're looking at this with the queer subtext, it's like, I don't know, like Jesse could be bisexual. Like it doesn't have to be like sexuality is such a complicated thing. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I don't think the ending completely undercuts or ruins any of the subtext in the rest of it. And then again, I also have my other reasons for why I disagree with you, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Because I genuinely don't remember how some of this plays out.
This, I think, is the best scene in the movie. This transformation
This is horrifying.
It's awesome. I love this sequence.
No, this is great.
The makeup's awesome. It's really disturbing. This is why you don't fall asleep.
Yeah, I remember him like exploding out of him. I don't remember any of this with that arm. That's really cool. Oh, that's a good shot too, with the eye. Why did I block so much of this movie out of my head?
Yeah, you only watched it once. It's normal.
Oh
Like
shit, there he is.
I love the creepy vibe of this movie. And this sequence is just so cool. Also fucked up.
Yeah.
Also, there are some moments in some of the sequels where instead of the normal glove hand, like the bit with the needles, with the drug addict, where his fingers are like that. But it's funny, John, with how much the third one kind of ignores this movie and the rest of the franchise ignores this movie. I feel like there is some iconography from this, particularly images of Freddy with the hand with the knives sticking out that you do see on like the NES game and a lot of merchandise from this era. So that's kind of interesting.
I guess. I mean, I haven't looked at that stuff in a while.
Like, I don't know if this is favorite Freddy look, but I do think he looks great in this movie. He's very slimy.
I think 3 is kind of the definitive Freddy look. It's the mix between the burn victim from the first one and the cartoon that he will be by 6.
Yeah. Oh. And I like, and this I think is consistent with the first one, where the actual kills, like there is a bluntness and a tragedy to them. We're not to the point where we're turning people into cockroaches and it becomes a full cartoon.
Johnny Depp turns into a blood fountain.
Okay, but that's the exception.
Also, how is he alive now? What?
Because he's...
Huh? How is Jesse alive?
He's Jesse.
Yeah, Freddy came out of him.
Yeah.
No, okay, so I think this confirms what I thought happened earlier with the shower scene.
Yeah. It's always Jesse.
Freddy is in control of his body, but Jesse can still see what's going on.
Yes. Which I think is scary. You killed him. This also gives me a Candyman vibes, where with some of the shit that Helen goes through in that movie, and then getting framed even for like some of the Candyman murders. That's a trope I like.
But my problem with that is we're about to see Freddy go on a killing spree in the real world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he had to have actually burst out of Jesse.
Not necessarily.
Then how did he get in the real world?
I don't know, man. Like, that's what we're seeing happen.
I think that's...
Well, no wonder you like this movie. You just ignore everything that's wrong with it.
That's not true.
That's just how the movie's communicating the information to you.
Yeah. This scene's great.
But no, it's not communicating. You can't say, well, what we're seeing is Jesse do this, but then Freddy's also going to be in the real world, but then he didn't actually come out of him.
I don't remember how it is. Okay, so when he's going on the killing spree later, do you think everyone sees Freddy? Or
yes.
Not sure.
I'll have to see when we get there, but the transformation scene to me is just signifying that Freddy is in control of the body now.
Mm.
And we're going to get that scene at the end where she beats Freddy by the power of love.
Does she?
Well, you get that weird
but also,
cliffhanger
like,
ending.
Okay. However you read into the subtext or not, with this being a queer allegory, like, these two characters can still love each other, even if he doesn't necessarily feel the same romantic feelings that she wants from him. Like, I still believe that these two people love each other, regardless of what his sexuality turns out to be.
Okay, but this is an 80s slasher. It is not that complicated. Name one duo that aren't related in a slasher movie that don't end up as a couple at the end of the movie.
Why is this relevant? We're talking about subtext and people's interpretations of the piece. I don't know. Okay, so the way I look at the transformation thing is, I do think in some scenes coming up, like, people are seeing Freddy, but it is literally Jesse that's doing these things. But it does seem like people at least think they're looking at Freddy, but again, some of that's very unclear.
I just have to see how that plays again, because
There's a scene coming up where it sure seems like she's looking at Freddy. I'll say that.
Okay.
But also here we're talking about the stuff from the last movie, that the way Nancy defeated him was turning her back on him. Or not, because it sure looks like Freddy wins at the end of that movie.
Well, I think this movie's existence confirms that she didn't die. They kind of ignore that cliffhanger because you can't really make a sequel off of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then 3 brings Nancy back and doesn't get into the minutia of what
which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Yeah. No, what I find interesting about this movie is, to me, it's not just it's somebody who doesn't know how to come out of the closet. It's also somebody dealing with a sexual predator. It's like a toxic relationship that they can't get out of. In this case, being with Freddy, which is just a bad situation.
Shit, there he is.
This is clearly Freddy. She's clearly looking at Freddy. This is not Jesse.
It is, though. He just looks like Freddy now. And I think there's just not a transformation scene here to save on budget. Because we already did the epic, expensive transformation sequence. We're not gonna.
So then why did you shift him back?
Because he woke up?
Ouch.
That bit's great. Freddy, you're an asshole.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no, what I know for sure is happening is this is Freddy in Jesse's body. That they're consistent.
But now he looks like Freddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jesse now.
Okay, yeah, so he's still in there.
Yes.
So I guess it just like takes a while for his.
So if this is
control to
Jesse's
fully
body,
take
how
over.
is that not hurting him?
I don't know. Freddy powers? Like I said, Freddy is in the real world, but he also like has his powers and shit.
This is dumb.
You could say the same thing about the first one. Like, it's all a matter of taste.
No, the first one is consistent. He only has his powers in the dream world. You have decided that the first one doesn't make sense so that you can justify this one. This one doesn't make sense.
By the end of that movie, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, that is one scene in the movie that is clearly compromised and everyone agrees is bad. None of this movie has made sense.
I don't know if everything makes sense. I've said repeatedly, I don't think this movie's perfect. I don't love this movie. I think if they spent more time on it, you could have ironed out some of the issues. I like the vibe. I like the protagonist. I'm invested in the story. I think Freddy's scary. Robert Englund's still great. Some of the effects are still cool. Yeah, Teddy, this is dumb. Dude, you like Freddy's dead.
It's also, I agree, it's one of the worst ones. I agree it's dumb. But it's upfront with how stupid it is. And I like half that movie.
So this is the big Freddy slasher sequence, and I think it's entertaining.
Yes, he possessed Jesse.
Yep.
To do a worse version of what he already did.
Yeah, but before he had to kill people one at a time.
I don't know that.
Hey, we've never seen him kill multiple people that are dreaming.
At the same
but I think that's just a limitation of film. You can only show one kill at a time.
But I don't like here. He's in the real world, but he's setting shit on fire. He's locking him in. Like, I think it's fun.
This is a good scene.
So, yeah, it's a fun scene. And again, the idea is he needs Jesse, a character who sleepwalks, that's how he can enter the real world.
To do a worse version of what he was doing in the first movie.
That's subjective. I like the
I
sleepwalking.
mean, I guess the idea is that Freddy's power slowly takes over him. Like it's
Yes.
slowly
Yeah,
like
it's not immediate.
yeah. Which is
And,
why
and, and
when
remember, at the
we
beginning, it's like the more people he kills, the more powerful he gets. That's why he's saying at the beginning, "I need you to kill for me, Jesse. Jesse, we gotta cook."
helps help yourself, fucker.
Yeah,
This
that
is the
line
big
so
iconic
weird.
shot.
Yeah, you're all my children now. So good. Daddy, don't. I love him.
That Freddy shot was weird. Something off with his
Yeah.
eyes.
He's a weird guy. Yeah, they do a lot more with context in him in this one than some of the others. Freddy's design is never that
So,
consistent.
does this mean when anyone is sleeping, Freddy can just become them?
Don't think about it, Noah. I would also just like to point out that a normal human being just burst into flames and walked away.
Because he has his powers, John. The dream people gave him them, and Freddy's dead.
But he's not in the dream world.
Well, he's possessing somebody who's sleepwalking.
And Jesse's body should be able to handle bursting into flames.
But he's got Freddy's powers. That's what's
But
protecting.
his body is in.
I think you're overthinking.
What? I don't know.
I'm not saying it's not ridiculous.
I'm putting
but
any
that's
modicum of
just-
thought into this, and it all falls apart.
I have this issue with some of the other movies in this franchise.
Okay, but we're not talking about those.
Except when we are.
Because your only defense every time I criticize this movie is, well, the other movies did this.
God.
What the hell is that?
What the hell?
I don't know. We only had to add a day. We had to make something creepy. Yeah, weird Freddy shit is entering the human world. But Sean, earlier you were arguing with me saying, but this isn't consistent with the other 7 movies. And I said, you can't hold that against this one. This is the second one.
But I can hold it against not even being consistent with the first one.
And I don't think the first one sticks the landing, so I don't really care.
Okay, but one scene does not invalidate the entire movie's mythology and rules.
The thing about dreams is that anything can happen.
But they're not dreaming.
Well, Jesse.
The thing about dreams is that there are no rules.
That is true.
I don't know.
I,
I'm thinking about this myself. I don't know if I'm using that as a defense.
Again, I'm just going with it. Again, I don't love this movie. I do agree that it has flaws, but I still like it.
Teddy, no one's friendship is gonna. We're arguing, but like we're still friends at the end of the day.
No, I hate John now.
Okay, but Noah, you agree with me that the first movie has an established set of rules. He's in the dream world.
Yeah.
You can pull things out of the dream world, but when you do that, then he's just a normal guy.
That is what Nancy hypothesizes.
Which we see
But
evidence of, because he can't do anything supernatural in the real world.
But then the whole third act of that movie is a dream, I guess? Like, I don't know.
But I also
This is creepy.
I
Like, the
had
maggots spring
canon
out
that
of the eye.
the I had canon that the ending of that movie didn't happen.
Yeah, which is what the third one does.
So I mean, the first movie does have a specific set of rules, but it's also a simpler scenario.
Yeah.
But this scenario only works by throwing out those rules.
Does it?
Oh my god.
The core conceit to this is that he has his powers in the real world. That is throwing
Well,
out
he
the
gets
rules of the first one.
But he gets to that place, you know. The more Jesse kills, the more powerful he becomes.
But why couldn't he do that in the first one? He's obviously been killing people.
It's a different premise.
No, you're wrong, Tyler. It's not just a movie.
Yeah.
This is war. I mean, I will say, I think this movie does complicate things.
Yes.
There's a
100%.
reason why they never call back to this one.
And why I don't think about it that much. I respect it more on a second viewing, but
It's a fine movie. I still say it's a bad nightmare movie.
I disagree. I like that it does something different with the dream conceit.
Well, by God, as long as it's different.
yeah,
It's still tied to
variety is the
nightmares.
spice of life.
Yeah, and I think this franchise is at its best when it's doing something different. That's why I like the first three in New Nightmare. That's why
Which are all different, but all fit in the same rule book.
kind of.
Oh,
But
God
also,
damn it.
the third one
I
gives
lost that round.
What's up?
I was just reading the chat. Teddy says that Glasses top guy lost this round, but poster guy won. Those are our names, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But then in the third one, they give the teenagers superpowers while they're dreaming. That's not a thing in the first one, and I think that was a fine addition.
They are squarely in the dream world.
Okay, but those powers only work in the dream world. And Freddy is consistent with his first movie appearance. Name one thing in that movie that contradicts the first movie.
I was never trying to. I was just saying it was adding something different.
That's building on the first one while doing something different. This is throwing the first one out and doing something different.
I don't think it's completely throwing it out.
Yeah,
it's just
that's
like,
where you lose me.
This is not the Freddy from the first movie.
I disagree.
It is.
By the way, this is the duo that he says is platonic. That she just beat Freddy by kissing him.
We haven't finished the movie yet. Also, God, I can't believe we have to have this conversation. A kiss is not a purely sexual thing between loved ones. It's specific to sex.
But I've seen 80s movies. That's where these movies go.
Right. But there are lots of movies that I think have interesting themes and subtext that don't necessarily stick the landing with them. Does that ruin the whole thing for me? No. Like, Bride of Frankenstein, I think is a great movie. I think it stumbles a little at the end, but does that tank the whole thing for me? No. I love Bride of Frankenstein. It's great. No movie is perfect or should be treated as such. Lisa, that effect's cool. The melting face.
Yeah.
I think Noah and I are just in the same
what is happening here?
He's shedding Freddy so he can be Jesse again.
The power of love saves him.
And I do believe that these two characters love each other regardless of what his sexual orientation is.
Different kinds of love.
Yeah.
You are reading far too into an 80s movie.
I reject
that. Every 80s movie is invalidated. If it was released in the 80s, you cannot interpret it in any way.
That's not what I'm saying.
I know, it's just the way that you worded it was really funny.
John, this was your idea, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Everybody, let's get along. Let's all have a big group hug.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, this is like somewhere in the middle of this franchise for me. It's got flaws, but I like it.
So if they were seeing Jesse the whole time, the only next step is that he goes into an institution for the rest of his life.
You would assume.
Well, yeah, as the movie went on, I don't think that's what happened. That's just what I thought at first.
Mm-hmm. Which would have been cool if they leaned into.
I would say that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy is right. Jason X is perfect. Like, come on.
Yep. There are very few perfect movies, but that's one of them.
I lost the points with the '80s movie Red Herring. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Teddy, do you know our names?
I hope he keeps this going. Hey,
I
it's like
do.
warming
I
up the
vote
movie.
that John should be called Poster Dude from now on.
I'm fine with
I
it.
agree.
Uh-oh. I know where this is going.
Happy ending.
And there's a Connor and a John. No, well, 50%.
I have a
Well,
friend named Connor.
Noah, you're Connor now.
I'm Connor.
So
Is that ADR? That was really distracting, sorry.
slow down the bus.
Uh, Teddy, Connor's been in one or two videos. Or maybe it was just one when we reviewed Fright Night.
And the glasses dude is Noah. He
Yeah.
did Lost Boys with us.
Or yeah, Lost Boys. It was some vampire movie.
You're welcome, Teddy.
It's all right.
Oh no.
Oh. And Noah, this is why I disagree with John when he says the power of love saves the day and they beat Freddy, because no, they didn't.
The power of love still saved
Freddy,
him from Freddy.
that's
If
what
Freddy's,
that's what we
if Freddy's,
it's still a downer ending.
okay,
It's
but you are
okay.
purposefully either ignoring or he was saved from Freddy's possession by the power of a woman's love. Really?
I don't think in that situation, A, I don't think gender matters. I still think these two people love each other. But B, it's the same thing as the first one where
I will
Nancy.
also say.
But you were also
Yeah.
ready to throw out the whole movie
Wait,
because of its ending. So,
Okay.
well, there's
which
similar
is it?
things, but okay, but let me finish. In the first one, Nancy turns her back on him, and that's how she wins. But just kidding, that was all a dream, I guess. Like this is kind of the same thing where you think it's a happy ending, but nope, Freddy still wins. So I I disagree completely. Like there is a bit of that, as Red Letter Media puts it, a case of the not gays saving Jesse, but it didn't work. Freddy still wins at the end, so I don't think it destroys. And again, if you're looking at this through a queer lens, it's like I don't know, he can be bisexual. Like you can interpret it however you want. I don't think that ending invalidates that entire read of his sexuality
Yeah.
and the subtext. And again, Freddy still wins at the end. It's still a downer ending. So, Noah,
What I'll say is, I think I've conditioned myself to not to not count Nightmare on Elm Street endings.
yeah,
Respectfully, most slasher movie like cliffhangers are dubious at best if they actually happened.
Yeah.
it's a case by case basis.
Especially in this franchise that ignores the ending of every other movie.
Yeah, it is a flawed, fun franchise.
Yes, Tyler, this ends with the bus
like it.
scene.
It's my favorite of the big three.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
happy 40th anniversary. I'm glad this is more of a cult following. I'm glad it's been reappraised. I much prefer 3. I do think that was a better sequel, but I still think there's a lot of good
yeah,
stuff in here.
it's almost
I
like
still
they
like
made
the
a
story.
Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
I still think this is a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Freddy's still Freddy. He's still scary.
What better way to celebrate the 40th anniversary of this movie than to have a commentary where 3 guys argue about it for the whole
Hey,
runtime?
If you're watching after the fact, we appreciate it. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We'll see you guys on the next one.